Hello and welcome everyone to a new episode of Hot Date with ACP Authors. And my beautiful, really beautiful guest today is Julie Tuton. Welcome, Julie.
Hi.
Hi.
Happy to be here.
So happy you're here. And look at you, you're all glowing and shining and wow.
This is how we can be when we use the Access tools, you know?
I like that part. Are you using the tools? Julie, you wrote a book about the beauty in breakup. This is the book. This is your book. Yeah. And this is a book really like it calls. And he has written six steps for moving beyond your breakup and choosing to create your lighter and brighter future. I love that. Would you like to tell us what inspired you? What is your story? What inspired you to write this book?
Absolutely. You know, I never thought I would be an author, and I never thought I would write about this subject, especially because it's like, ooh, breakups, divorce. I didn't even like the word divorce. So I'm actually really grateful that the title came through to me later. And actually a friend of mine actually pinged me about it because she's like, you know, everything that you do is about beauty and creating beauty. So beauty in the breakup. So I started out with Access in 2003, and I had been married for 15 years, and I just felt kind of like everything had stopped, you know. I was 39 and I felt old and undesirable and like, ugh. And everything in my life looked perfect. It's like I had the husband and the two beautiful kids and the house, and I had created my own business, and it was all there, but inside it was just empty. And so when I found Access and started using the tools, it actually made our relationship better. But 5 years down the road, it was like, okay.
Was your husband using the tools too? Was he going?
He was. We were both facilitators. And I don't know. I think it was my thing, and I think he just did it. And you know how different people get it.
To make you happy? Something
What's
like
that?
To please you, to make you happy?
No, I think he was really intrigued.
Oh, cool.
I think he was really intrigued. But there's this thing about needing to be right.
I don't know anything about that.
That I don't think he ever let go of. And I'm still working on it myself. But yeah, so after about 5 years, I kept thinking that if the tools work, then it can make my relationship work. But that's not really what it's about. And I realized that we had different priorities. And I was asking questions like, okay, what would my life be like in 5 years if I broke up the marriage? And it went, and I thought, oh my God, really? Like that can't be possible. Divorce is supposed to be bad. And then I asked for him and for my kids, like what would all of our lives be like? And it went, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And as soon as we had a conversation that, you know what, we're actually better friends than lovers and marriage partners, like this just isn't really working. He was like, yeah. And it felt like a huge weight off of our shoulders. And we were both really grateful for each other. And we created separation in the kindest way possible. We were really good friends. And anytime anything came up where it was difficult, where, you know, going through who gets this and who gets that, if it got too heavy, we'd run bars on each other. And it was just so easy. And I remember Gary saying, like, you guys, you like each other. And this is like, people need to see this in the world. So he told me I needed to write the book. Wow. And so I did. And it took years because this was 10 years ago. So I started writing some things and, whatever, and different things happened along the way. And then he quit Access, and that created a really weird spin out for the kids because they had grown up going to classes, going to Costa Rica, loving these tools. And it was very interesting. But the way I created the book in these different steps, it's like whatever thing you're dealing with, you can use the tools in that step to get yourself out of it. Because with Access tools, there's like thousands of tools. And sometimes you don't know what to do. You don't know what to choose. So this is really, it's a great guidebook for wherever you are in a breakup, or even if you're beyond and you just haven't let go of certain things. So I'll just mention the steps. The step one is unwinding, where you become this unit together. Your whole lives are totally intertwined, so you have to unwind to be able to find you. And so there's tools in there to create space for yourself and to start to find who you are. Step two is dissolving past trauma. So all the things that you want to make them wrong about. And all the things, that you're upset about, clearing all of that so that you don't have any baggage to bring forward.
Julie, is really in all of the classes, and when you talk probably, and me too, when we talk to people like, shall I break up? Shall I stay together? Oh, they are the kids. Oh, we have the house. Exactly what you said. And then really having the courage to ask questions and to receive what works truly for you. But most of the people that I see, they don't allow themselves even to go to that point before they fall apart. And not in a good way, like the drama, the trauma, the making wrong of each other, the bring the whole family and friends in it, and he's bad and she's bad. And this is like this reality's divorce scenario. And now you come along, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, there is something else possible. There are tools to make that ease. And even joy. Yeah. And this is wow, this is a totally new reality. So yeah. Oh, thank you. I just have to say that in the middle of it, because thank you, because it's not an easy topic. And even when we're at the bookshop and people looking at this, I see people looking at the book and yes, no, I perceive their world no, and then it's almost yes, then they go for it, or there is a no, I don't want to deal with it now, I'm not ready energy. And what would you say to these people?
Well, the book is not about breaking up. It's literally about not divorcing yourself.
That's a totally new
thing. Yeah, it's stop breaking up with you and have you. I've actually had many friends who've read it and their relationship got better. So it's not about breaking up, it's about letting go of the upset and finding what actually you would like so that you can bring more of you to any relationship.
Wow, thank you for that information. Wow.
How do we put that on
totally different? This is totally different right now. Because the first thing is oh yeah, it's about breakup. Oh, but now with don't divorce yourself, a beautiful space opens up. Yeah, please, you were just talking about the steps.
Yeah. So I think we got to 2, dissolving past trauma. So 3 is a navigation system. And so this was really important. When I was looking at this choice, it wasn't something that I just made immediately. I knew it way back when I was searching for something, and when I found access, I knew that I wasn't happy. But I had so many decisions in place. My parents got divorced when I was 9, and I decided I'm never going to do that. When I get married, I'm going to stay married. And so even having the awareness that it wasn't working, that decision kept me from making a different choice. So it's like looking at what's actually working for you, not what somebody else did or what your parents did or what you think you should do. What works for you, and what would you truly like your life to be like, so that it can be joyful and light and sparkly. Because at least for me, that's what it's about. I love sparkle and and joy and beauty and peace and space and kindness. So if I'm not being that, I'm not being me.
So true.
So I was looking on the internet, I was looking at all these, like, how do you know when to break up? And there was nothing. So I guess I had to create it. And this will give you the navigation system using the tools in, for you, so that you can have your own clarity. It's not about, what this reality says. Well, you have to do this and you have to go to counseling and, you stick together for the kids. Like, what are we showing our kids? That you need to cut yourself off and be miserable because that's the right thing to do. So
let me tell you one thing here, because I'm divorced, and I never wanted to get married. When I married, I got the whole download of this realities. Oh, now I'm a married woman thing. I didn't know anymore. Who am I being? How I'm supposed to be? What shall I do? Like a total weirdness. And when it came to the moment of divorce, which was 6 months later, is the whole download came of, oh my God, now I'm a divorced woman. I messed up. I'm not good.
Scarlet letter.
Yes, yeah. And then I thought, like, oh, this is just me. But what I saw, that so many people are going through this. And you wrote that book like for everyone out there. And I mean, I know that also people and ladies, especially ladies I talk to from different cultures, read that, where it's even more tight. But wow, I'm amazed right now talking with you about that. And even talking with you, I get such a space of, it's almost like something is healing that there was still in me. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I hope everyone watching is really willing to receive, this difference, this space, this healing. I don't even find word for it. That, thank you. And just continue. Sorry, I'm it's just so beautiful.
Thank you.
Because it seems so hard. And you show us, oh, it's not hard. There is something.
No. What's hard is refusing to choose what you know is correct for you.
Wow. Yeah.
So let's see. Step 3, navigation. So that even if you don't know what it's going to look like, if it's going to create more, if it's going to expand your life, or if it's not. And I also, throughout this book, it's not very big, it's kind of skinny. I give examples. It's like the tools are there's an explanation of how to use it, and then there's examples of people that I've facilitated, either the people who broke up or people who stayed together. And actually, there have been other people who have used it for moving on from a job. So it's really just breaking up with whatever you've chosen that you don't want to choose anymore. So it could even be used for breaking up with this reality. Or with old reality.
Bye.
Old reality, like how can I have more of me?
Yeah.
And then step 4 is breaking through barriers. And this is like what you were talking about, like how other people are going to think of you, or dealing with kids. And in here, there's an exercise that Gary gave us while we were going through our separation and divorce. He said to take 30 days, and each person, one at a time, take 30 days outside of the family and go and create your life and see what it's like without them. Before you go through and, you know, do the final paperwork stuff. And it was amazing. And I learned a lot of things that I was grateful for what he did for me and for the family. And at the same time, I realized for me that that wasn't enough to stay together. But other people start to have gratitude for their partner, and it is enough. And so therefore they create a greater connection, and they destroy and uncreate the judgment and the walls of separation so that they can come closer. So it's not about answers.
No.
And it's not about breaking up, but it's like what would you like to choose, really? And step 5 is conscious creation. How would you like to create your life? And it deals with your body and all the things that you have. And a lot of people, they get divorced, and one person lives in the same home, and they just keep all the stuff. And there's so much attached to all those things that if you don't love them, you might want to let them go. So there's that. And, you know, asking questions about what you would like to have in your life. And there's a funny story I tell when I do book readings. We were getting ready to sell our home throughout this process, and we put all this stuff on the street for a yard sale. And I remember, like, the house just felt so much more spacious. And then my husband started walking up the stairs, and I realized I didn't want him in the house. It was like, oh wow, there's energies with all of these things and people. And it's just so interesting when you actually look at different energies and what they contribute and what it is that you'd like your life to be. Certain energies don't actually create that. And it's not about the rightness or wrongness or anything. It's just the energy of the thing or the person. So it takes it out of the judgment, and it just gives you the awareness of what you'd like to have.
Yeah. It still takes some courage, I would say. I mean, this is what we all say, probably you too in your classes, is like, be brutally honest with yourself. What works for you and what doesn't work for you. And we love complaining. We love complaining about our partners, and this doesn't work and this doesn't work. But like just sitting down and saying like, okay, let me look at this is already the first step. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah. I remember calling Gary complaining once before all of this occurred. And he was like, stop. And he goes, okay, you're divorced. And I was like, oh. And he's like, so now what? Now what are you going to choose? And it was just like this space, and it was sort of like, oh my God, what do I do with all of that? And so I didn't do it right away. I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm going to keep trying to be right and, you know, have a cute family and do all of the right things.
Be a pretty housewife.
But he Yeah, no, I was never the housewife.
I cannot imagine that really.
Just a minute, I'm on a call. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So this is really designed to be able to go back and forth through wherever you have the struggle. And I've had a couple of relationships since then, and I actually used the book because sometimes you need that, somebody to tell you
From outside, this little thingy.
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going into this past stuff. Okay, what were those tools again? Or if I keep choosing this, what's that going to create? Okay.
Thank you so much for gifting us the world, this book, for sitting down, writing it down. And I know it has already changed so many people's lives and families and relationships, and there are so many million more to come. And I'm really super grateful. And also, there's one thing, I found a quote from Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, here in this book, and I would like to read it. It just pings me.
Yeah.
And it says, if you didn't do divorce from the anger it took to create separation, but from the possibility of what separation could create, what really could be created that we haven't even considered.
Yes.
So with that, and if you're out there just listening right now, first of all, thank you for watching this. And this is the book from Julie, and you can find it on the Access Consciousness website, in the Access Consciousness shop, and probably in a lot of million other places. So just have a look. And if you would like to know more, I think people can contact you and book a class or book a session about that. You have class? Do you have classes around this topic?
I do. I created a specialty class actually called Committing to Your Living, which is partnered with this. But the book has a website, beautyinthebreakup.com, where they can just contact me directly.
Yeah.
JulieTutonEnergy.com. And yeah, we're going to do a new book club soon too.
Fantastic. So stay tuned, people, and join us. And thank you. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was fun.